Tonight we have a remarkable Detroit 2020 story. It's about an inspirational young man whose enormous challenges led him to a reading program that is now being used to help high school students in Detroit. J.T. Mesdaw was born unable to eat or even go to the bathroom. It's a birth defect called Vader syndrome.
When he was born, and the doctor actually came in my room the next morning to announce that he was going to be performing surgery on our son, and I had to sign papers. I said, "Oh, you're in the wrong room."
Doctors had to rebuild his esophagus.
I've had about 16 operations throughout my life.
JT also suffered from severe dyslexia. Help with spelling and speech was not enough.
Now we're in 5th grade, and we did not have a reader, and it's not an exaggeration to say the word "the" was a struggle.
While at the University of Liggett, JT was told he could not return to school.
I came home from school and I laid on the kitchen floor and I was crying, and I told my mom, I just want to learn to read like every other kid. I don't care about the medical stuff.
His medical issues were life and death, but his parents knew his education was about survival.
We really had been trying many reading programs. There's Linda Moot Bell and Orton Gillingham, Discovery Read. I could go on because we tried 8 of them, but they weren't working for him.
Then came word of a reading program by Steve Tatum, who specializes in children with dyslexia.
As God would have it, Steve Tatum was in town that week. We were able to meet him that night.
After a week with Steve,
I remember skipping and jumping and running to the car saying I can read.
JT and his mom would uproot and move to Denver for 5 months for JT to study at the Denver Academy with Tatum.
Basically brought me from a non-reader to, basically almost a 5th grade level reading in the fact of being able to pick up on the words.
His progress so remarkable, he did the unthinkable and returned to the place that sent him home in tears.
JT, what was it like to come back to Liggett after being told you couldn't go to school there?
They had brought in a headmaster who just really was so excited about being able to, first off, bring me back, but also bring other kids back.
JT was called the test pilot. Teachers began creating study plans for students who learn differently. JT's progress so exceptional, the Beyond Basics Literacy Program adopted the Tatum method and brought the model to Detroit Public Schools.
That's when we had our first grade level movement in that 6-week time frame. And that is because of JT's heart.
Steve Tatum trains all of their reading tutors who now work one-on-one with all DPS high school students, and JT is often at his side.
We're embarking on reaching 11,000 kids over the next 3 years in the intensive one-on-one.
Even more remarkable, JT not only went on to graduate from Liggett, he graduated from college and even wrote this #1 international best-selling book about his life's journey called Untether.
If it wasn't for that experience, I would not have gone to Denver, and I would not have been able to learn to read and write.
It was the best decision we all made.
Wow, such an inspiration he is. He even climbs mountains. He now works with Beyond Basics to help kids who are struggling with reading by sharing his journey. And since it is Giving Tuesday, we want to shine the light on Pam Good, the founder of Beyond Basics. Earlier this year, they launched a $33 million fundraising campaign to expand its reach. 93% of DPS high school students cannot read at grade level, and Beyond Basics is working to reverse that trend, and each and every one of us can certainly help with that. Just an amazing program, an amazing young man there as well, Dave.
Boy, sure is. Thank you for bringing that to us.